Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into just one single ancient ingredient. And according to our source material, it's so powerful they call it nature's Botox. The claim? That it can tackle some of the biggest, most frustrating skincare challenges we all face.
You know the drill, right? You've got a skin concern, you reach for these super expensive treatments, maybe even something like Botox, but the results they don't always stick around. So the source for this explainer is asking a really simple question. Is there a better, more natural way to go about it? And we're talking about all the usual suspects here. You know, those fine lines and wrinkles, maybe some dark spots from the sun or old blemishes, or maybe your skin just feels kind of dull and dehydrated. These are the things that often send us down that rabbit hole of really expensive, super complicated skincare routines. But what if the answer wasn't in some brand new, high-tech lab? What if it's been hiding in plain sight this whole time? A secret trusted by ancient traditions like Ayurveda and still getting buzz today? Well, our source points us to one incredibly powerful oil. Yep, you heard that right. Nature's Botox. I mean, that is a huge claim to make, and the source we're looking at isn't shy about it. They're positioning castor oil not just as, a simple moisturizer, but as a total powerhouse for reviving your skin. Okay, so nature's Botox, that's a big promise, right? To see if there's anything to it, we've got to look at the science. What exactly is it about this incredibly thick, kind of sticky oil that can make it so powerful? Well, the secret, according to our source, comes down to one key compound, something called ricinoleic acid. This unique fatty acid is the star of the show. It's the main active ingredient that's supposed to give castor oil all its magic. And get this number is what really matters. We're not talking about a little sprinkle of this stuff in the oil. Castor oil is made up of about 90% ricinoleic acid. That's an unbelievably high concentration of its main active ingredient.
So here's the really wild part. You'd think because this oil is so thick and heavy, it would just sit on top of your skin, right? But according to the source, it's that super high concentration of ricinoleic acid that allows it to penetrate deeper into the skin's layers than pretty much any other oil. It's this total paradox that's supposedly the key to how it works.
Okay, so we've got the theory down. Now let's get to the good stuff, the practical side. How do you actually use this stuff? Our source material breaks it down into 5 really specific ways you can use it to target those skin concerns we talked about earlier. All right, first up is its most basic job, acting as a super powerful moisturizer. But, and this is important, because it's so thick, you can't just slap it on. The source recommends a very specific way to apply it. And what I love about this is how it's tailored for your specific skin type. If you have dry skin, simple. You just warm a couple of drops between your hands and gently press it in. But, and this is a big but, if you have oily skin, don't write it off. The source suggests mixing it with some aloe vera gel. This creates this amazing, lighter cream that's not going to clog your pores and just absorbs beautifully. Okay, use number 2. Tackling those stubborn, dark spots. You know, the little reminders left behind by a breakout or a bit too much sun. The idea here is to use that deep penetrating power we talked about to use castor oil as a targeted spot treatment. And the recipe for this is so easy. Seriously, you just take the castor oil and some aloe vera gel, whisk them together until it turns into this nice smooth cream, and then you just dab a little bit right where you need it. It's a super simple, homemade alternative to all those expensive brightening serums out there. All right, next up, fine lines and wrinkles. Now the source is really clear here. This isn't some miracle eraser. The idea is to use that intense moisturizing ability to soften how they look, especially around the eyes and mouth. And for this, they recommend a special little blend you can use every night. So the magic combo here is castor oil for that deep penetration, mixed with rosehip oil, which is famous for its regenerative properties. And again, let's be realistic, just like our sources. This isn't going to make deep wrinkles vanish, but the goal is to make your skin healthier and more plumped up with moisture, which can soften their appearance and, as the source puts it so well, just help you feel a little more comfortable and confident in your skin. Okay, this next one is a little different. The source also talks about a gentle, at-home method for dealing with certain kinds of warts and moles. And again, it all comes back to that same core idea, leveraging its ability to penetrate deeply. So you just make this simple paste with a little bit of baking soda and castor oil and apply a tiny amount right on the spot. The claim is that if you do this consistently over time, it can help soften them and reduce how they look. But, and this is super important, our source really stresses this, if you have any new growths or something that's changing or just worrying you, your first stop should always be a dermatologist.
And finally, use number 5. This one is for when your skin is just feeling blah, dull, dry, stressed out. The source suggests you can use castor oil to give yourself a kind of at-home facial treatment.
And this is really more of a self-care ritual than just slapping on a product. You gently warm the bottle of oil up, which also makes it a little thinner and easier to work with, and then you really take your time massaging it into your clean skin. It's not a quick 5-second fix. It's a weekend thing, a moment for yourself. And the payoff, our source claims, can be this beautiful, vibrant, pinkish glow. So, okay, we've walked through 5 pretty different ways to use this one oil. So what's the big takeaway here? What does all this information from our source really boil down to? Well, what we've seen is that one single principle, that deep penetration from all that ricinoleic acid, is the foundation for all of these claims. It's pitched as a deep moisturizer, a dark spot corrector, a wrinkle softener, and a total skin reviver. And that leaves us with a really fascinating question to think about. In a world where we're all about these complex 10-step skincare routines that cost a fortune, could the real answer to healthier, glowing skin actually be hiding in a single, ancient, and super affordable bottle? That's the thought our source leaves us with.